It's Village TV and welcome back. In this show, we're going to talk about how you can enjoy your job more. Did you know that 30% of people on average hate their job? 50% of people just do their job, and only 20% of people actually want to and love to come to work. Now, I'm joined by peak performance coach Steve Hoskins to tell us a little bit more about how you can have staff who really want to and love to come to work. Steve, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
I thought that stat that 50% of people only come to work and the fact that 30% hate coming to work must have a detrimental impact on businesses and people's welfare and all those kind of things. How can we make how important is enjoying your job in someone's business?
I think it's critical. Most entrepreneurs are in that 20% area where they passionately love what they do. That's why they went and charged themselves with the opportunity to go and do it.
Yeah.
But in an organisation where you get people who come from different walks of life with different skills, you end up collecting people who haven't necessarily gone through an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
They've maybe gone to school and learned certain things and they think, well, I'm kind of good at that, so I'll keep doing it. That totality ends up with that total. You mentioned 30% actively hate what they do, 50% average about what they do, they just turn up to work. That's 80% who are not engaged in their job.
Yeah.
In the corporate world, the big terminology is employee engagement. And I see so many times we're working on an employee engagement program, they send out a lot of surveys, they get a lot of information back about what could we do, usually tools, equipment, social functions, things like that need to improve my job. But the key fundamental is understanding what triggers us to not like anything in our life.
Yeah.
So as a peak performance coach, what I like to do is get to the fundamentals of why you do what you do, not only at work, but at home, with your family, with a hobby, things like that. And you start to find that people are actually able to enjoy their job more when they start to link a purpose to what they're doing. And it's not actually that hard to do. It's just about asking the question. And traditionally in the workplace, we tend not to go there.
Stick away from it.
You do tend to, because it tends to be a little bit of a personal aspect. Now, the one thing in psychology, we talk about the chain of command.
Okay.
So usually in your job, you want to achieve a result. Most people, even if they're disengaged, want to have a good experience at work where they get recommendation, commendation, move on, go up in the company and so forth. So the chain of command is we have beliefs about what it is we're going to conduct our thoughts about in our life. So if I believe something, I'm going to think that. And then when I think it, it reinforces the belief. The belief gives me a feeling about anything that I undertake based on that belief. Based on my feelings, I'm going to act, whether I'm happy or sad. It's that feeling point of liking or not liking something that we need to get to. Then when you act, you get a result at the end. So if we can change our beliefs, we can change our results. By changing your beliefs, you have to change your thoughts.
Yes.
So all you need to do is think differently about how you come to work, who you work with, what it is you're there to achieve, and then the whole rest of the result chain is taken care of.
So it's really coming down to managers and people allowing or encouraging people to have positive thoughts? Or, I mean, how do you go about putting those positive thoughts into someone's mind? You can't like, you will now like work.
No, you cannot make a thought turn into a belief with somebody.
No.
Someone has to have that themselves.
Okay.
So what we need to do is have real discussions with our employees, with our peers. One of the best ways of doing that is forming an alliance amongst ourselves. So that's about, okay, how do you form an alliance amongst ourselves? Becoming like-minded with our peers. A lot of people talk about the culture. What's the culture like here at work?
Okay.
They usually have a mission statement on the wall and what our values
So boring.
are. Hello. Yeah, it doesn't really work.
No one cares.
No, you have to have a real conversation.
Okay.
Talk about the things that we don't like, the things that we do like. Take judgment out of it. Understand why and have a laugh about it. It's incredible how much humour can actually help repair things that are unsaid, relationships that have been challenged at work. Get it out in the open and then start to set some goals about how we're going to have a commitment to each other, about how we can form the whole company ethos that we've got, so that we enjoy what we do.
And you're always making it a bit more personable. You're making it
human.
Human, yeah, because we're human beings. We're not
human doings.
Point forms on a board.
No, we're not. We're not graphs.
Not graphs.
We're not chart sheets. But it's so easy to get hunkered into that because it's business.
Yes.
And people are your business. So if you just become more human, you can see how much the performance mushroom grows. I've worked in organizations that had this 80% dissatisfaction factor.
Wow.
And a 20% gap in how satisfied I am at work. I've seen them spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on helping the organization improve that employee survey, but they did nothing to really change how people genuinely felt. So very quickly we can change that feeling, which changes how we behave, which changes our results.
And I'm sure those results will have a much more positive impact on your business when you have more like 50% wanting to come to work and loving work rather than the present 30% or less than that you have or 20% that you have at the moment.
Or 20%.
20%, unreal. So, Steve, you lead a lot of companies in terms of letting them have that conversation. If people want to know more information about you, where do they go?
It's pretty easy. Just go to stopatnothing.com.au. You'll see all the programs that we offer there and my contact details. I'm more than happy to have a chat and see what we can do in your business.
Fantastic. Now, Steve's going to be joining me for a lot more shows, so make sure you stay tuned on Village TV as we talk about peak performance in your business. Steve, thank you for joining me, and we'll chat to you later. That's another edition of Village TV. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you later.